Hey, everybody, welcome to Paradigm Shifters. I'm Lori, one of the co-hosts, and I'm here with Veronica Entwistle. How you doing, V?
I'm doing really well and very eager to be doing this, Lori, for everyone, for myself and for you. Yes.
That's fantastic. We're doing a show. Veronica and I decided to go forward with a very sensitive subject matter that we actually recorded just over a month ago, and then and decided not to publish it because of the nature of it. And what it is Veronica had an opportunity to channel Virginia Giuffre, who was, as people know, sexual abuse survivor under the hands of Epstein. And the reason why we're going forward with this right now is we both feel there's a pivotal story that is happening right now, that we all knew that there was a big change coming in July. And V had predicted this and other clairvoyants as well. What we think is that the Epstein story is actually really the tip of the iceberg because of what has, that this is much bigger, much bigger than I think we realize. And
Network. It's a huge network, too.
yeah, and we've been doing a lot of research and really listening to lots of journalists on this story. I've been listening to some of the new accusers who are coming forward now. One of them, she was 13 years old when Donald had sex with her on 4 different occasions. And this story was broken by Cleveland 7, Channel 7 News. It's not getting a lot of airplay, unfortunately, but I heard it on Magis Tarot by Libby. She posted it. Incredible piece. Good work, Libby. And she also posted Epstein's list. And she's done tremendous research and work on this level as well.
Impossible to have a list, isn't it? Isn't it
Yes, there is a.
impossible for her to have that list?
The list was once leaked
Okay.
before, and it was available.
Wow.
And she had it, and
Incredible.
I have it now. We can happily post it on our channel. I'll
Hmm.
post a link to it. The list is a partial list, but it is 80 pages. And I went through it and wasn't terribly surprising. But anyways, Sylvia and I decided to go ahead and see if we can talk with Virginia again, because we had such a great conversation with her and it was so powerful. And she thanked us so much for reaching out to her. And the reason why we want to talk to her is to validate what she has been saying, which is, and many of the other victims now, and if she's not aware, I'm sure, I'm sure she's aware, but that they're all pretty much on the same page talking about the blackmail that went on. And
Talking about the what?
the blackmail that went on, Jeffrey had
Oh, blackmail.
cameras
Yes.
in every single room, including the bathrooms on Little St. James and in his Manhattan mansion.
Hmm.
So, and right now, just to bring the audience up to speed, the FBI has now requested a meeting with Ghislaine Maxwell, who's the woman serving 20 years, who was Epstein's right hand woman. She's the one who probably holds a lot of keys to this whole thing. We also have some really important questions to ask Virginia and MIRICRIS. So it's going to be somewhat of a very comprehensive show for us to get down and under what exactly this is all about, because it's not just a sex trafficking scandal. It's much bigger than that. And so anyways, V, is
And what exactly is that? Because what we're seeing, well, I guess I'll ask Miracris and others, but it's very old, you know.
mm-hmm,
This particular routine, this sexual predation, and because of people who are in higher positions, it's very old. It's very ancient.
yeah,
I even see some of the Vatican involved, and I go, well, wait a minute, how trite that is, because they've already been on the dais for their own sexual abuse,
right,
but it looks like it's spilled over into organizations around the world
Yes.
through
Yeah.
time, really.
So we want to give time and justice to Virginia to tell us what she knows and her story and to get some validation. So it'd be great, I think, if we can start with the however you're going to bring in Virginia,
Mhm.
and we, with great delicacy and great love.
So let's start with bringing in MIRICRIS.
Okay, absolutely.
So everyone at home, I like it when we call in, even though you're going to hear this at different stages in time. At the beginning of listening, just call in the higher frequencies from infinity plus one. Call in that golden stream of light and rush it right down through the top of your head. Squeegee it out through your body into the core of the earth. Let it pop back up and surround you with light. So much of this material is actually perhaps it's like a contagion in terms of abuse energies radiating out and penetrating other people in the society. And I often think I do not want to look at anything to do with Trump because I know it'll stick to me. It's contagious, the vibration that he has. And I know that for Virginia, she's worked really, really hard on herself. I know people say once you're dead, it's over. No, I don't see that at all. And so going around, I'd like to speak with MIRICRIS. And before I asked MIRICRIS to explain why I always get a group of them and why a group. And this is a very, very interesting description, which I think will give you all a bit of heart. So again, make yourself wrapped in light in the golden streams, which you can carry with you and use anywhere, and asking MIRICRIS to come forward. We're here. We are so pleased. And in some ways, for the sake of some of the beings that you're going to talk to, we're relieved that the truth of their story is out. For when we see beings on the other side, like this young lady, but not only this young lady, but other people, we see how for some it's quite a treacherous journey trying to unhook themselves from damaging frequencies. Now, we know that some people don't believe that at all, but this is how we're speaking to you this day so that you will have great reverence for this young woman's, her abuse was so difficult. And she started, it's very interesting, she started her life out in a very dangerously abused, when we call it abuse, we say deep within her soul and psyche, she had markations of abuse, darkness, um, deep, deep, not just anxiety, but deep self punishment for something that she's done wrong. And how we see it and how this one sees it is deep within her body mind. There are these pools of not huge, but huge pools of blackened energy. And we're not speaking about skin tone black at all. We're saying blackened energy being so full of memory and the poison from past experiences and so on. And we don't need to explore all of that, just that she started off. When you start off with that, when other people do, there is an attraction in your life to find ways of working that out through experience. So she started off in her life with having some of these, we'll call them like little pools of very dark energy, which were obviously abuse energy. And as she sought peace and quiet in her growing up years, she rarely had any until she finally left and made her way in a very, very difficult zone of life on the planet. So she was used and
Mm.
abused sexually by, oh, in fact, this is very important. When she met several of the people to do with the Epstein group, she thought maybe she was going to be safe now because she had never felt safe in her life. And she thought now they wooed her in the way that would make her feel like it was going to be okay. And in the wooing, they made her susceptible to or receptive to sexual usury. And the people around her that really used her were really kind to her and sweet to her. But the truth of it is, they were tricking her a lot to keep her in service and making her feel like she was being. And this is true all the way through the sexual abuse routines or this kind of thing you're talking about today, that she was feeling like she was successful. She's feeling like she was serving them. She's feeling like she was helping them. And it's a mesmerizing kind of a madness. And when she finally got free, and you know a lot of that story already, but she was deeply, deeply, deeply damaged by, if you take a word like lust, mingling with anger and vengeance. Take those words for a moment and imagine how they grip the deeper inner part of your soul and psyche. And when that was being perpetrated or penetrated in her, when she was trying to get a home where she would feel safer than she had at home, it was very, very crazy making. She became mentally imbalanced, and she should have. And when some of what she did before she died was to try to make things right for other people. And that was a very, very deep for other women, for other young girls. She was trying to get some of this resolved. And unfortunately, it caught her under the wheels of other people's vengeance and other people's lust and other people's anger, and she couldn't get out of some of these loops or these tracks of what was wrong with her, what was wrong with her. Somewhere deep down, it would be like, I know I'm a bad girl, but she had so much awareness as she was living of the wrongness that people like even Mr. Trump and people like there are a number of the people in that whole group that were very bad and insidiously pulling younger girls in. So she had that awareness. Epstein as well. He frightened her because his mesmerizing wooingness was
Mm-hmm.
almost Mr. Trump's is more sticky. His was almost snake-like. It's
Mm-hmm.
like you get an infestation of some kind of feeling and you can't make your way out of it. And
Yeah.
she
So,
saw, go
sorry,
ahead.
Mary Chris, I just want to interject and ask you some questions.
Okay.
Closer, thank you for that. I appreciate it. I'm sorry to interrupt, but I want to ask you questions that pull us deeper into what Veronica and I have been discussing, which is, can you talk about this issue with the Epstein files is so intense right now that they're closing Congress down. It was just published 1 hour ago that Mike Johnson is holding a vote to send everybody home earlier than they thought for recess because of the complication of the Epstein files. And my point and thing I want to ask is, I'll just ask it straight up because I think it's my hit is it's true, but I want to hear what MIRICRIS has to say, which is, was Donald involved in an international sex trafficking ring that also included Trump Tower?
Very much so.
Mm-hmm. And it was with very powerful people from all over the world?
It's people in higher political positions. People actually, the most important part of people in different government positions.
Mm-hmm.
When you said that Mike Johnson was shutting down the government at this point. And we have been watching and going, there are people in Congress right now that are problematic that way as well. And they are part of the grapevine or the network of
Mhm.
several different governmental agencies around the world. You understand that?
So was Donald directly involved in this? Is an underage, and in time the women grew up within the ring, but he, let me ask another really wild question. Did Melania come from this sex trafficking ring of sorts?
Yes. And
Mhm.
she came in from Eastern Europe,
Mhm.
but there is a great deal of it around her as well.
So is this how they met? Was basically through a
Carefully
sexual,
arranged. Yes.
yeah.
She's actually a very smart woman, but she's learned some of these people that are inured in this kind of behavior, and she did by history, she had that influence. Some of them don't have any real feelings about compassion or, how they're affecting other people. It's just been too intense for them to stay awake to that. Do you understand what I mean
Mm-hmm.
there?
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
So this ring, it's very sophisticated. It
Yes.
was very, I mean, this is the rich and powerful, basically, who are participating in it. A lot of
Mhm.
money exchanged hands
A great deal of money.
for some of these underage girls. I mean, is this what he's so afraid of coming out?
Yes. He's afraid of having, it's an international situation. He's afraid of having people, well, you understand, he's afraid of them not allowing him to live the life he wants to live. He's afraid of being punished to such a degree that he will not ever be free. And it's true, he won't.
No, I think the stigma would be extremely, uh, the separation. People would absolutely pull away.
Well, there's two kinds of people that some just say, well, it's always been that way in this circle. And others will be just so shocked and horrified. They just want to scrape him off the soles of their feet. Do you understand?
Mm-hmm.
Meaning they just feel like they've walked in poop when his confessions, he's not actually going to confess. He's going to be tripped up.
Mm.
He does not know how to be honest. Are you aware of that?
If I said no, I'd be lying.
Well, the depth of his deception is almost, for some people, absolutely untenable to even imagine, but it is thorough. And it partly is exacerbated by his being mildly insane, if not quite insane. And he
Right.
is deteriorating really fast.
So
There are
will,
a couple of beings who are trying to, um, how can I put this? There are a couple of beings that aren't necessarily American, or if they are, they're not totally American, meaning they have their feet in several different countries. And
Mhm.
several of them do not want the revelation to come up at all because it's going to pull down little empires around the world.
Right,
Understand? So there's
right.
some real violence and viciousness wanting to come up.
Mm, okay. Um,
And
there,
some of the people in Congress are really bad people. You know that?
oh yeah, they're part of the whole poisonous infrastructure,
Mhm.
and participate in this kind of thing as well. I mean, this is
Mhm.
what Matt Gatz, remember him, who got
Gates,
booted,
yes, yes.
he got booted out. This was one of the sleazy little things he was involved in. But let's go back to Epstein. When we did our prior, when we did our prior show that we chose not to publish, at that time, Can you speak to the fact he did not commit suicide? Is that correct?
No, he did not commit suicide. Yes, it is correct.
Right. So
He was, one moment. He was choosing to commit suicide or be taken out, and he was taken out. But so partly it was his choice, which you could say is suicidal. But there were such serious threats on him that he succumbed to two people. We keep telling this one that there were two men involved
mhm.
in his final stage. One might be Mr. Trump, or one who's very like him, and another one to cover up all the traces and make it hard for anyone to perceive.
Right. It's now coming out that Bill Barr may have been implicated in this, and some of the news outlets that are reporting, because when Jeffrey was found dead, Bill Barr did a number of things to sort of hush things up, quiet things down. Was Bill Barr aware that he
Yes,
was
but
killed?
also he's a very dishonest man as well.
Yeah, but he was aware that he was also killed. Was Bill Barr aware of that, or did he think it was suicide?
No, he knew. Most of the ones in that inner circle know that he was killed. In fact,
Okay,
they kind of planned it together. They spoke of it.
right. And
And Mr. Epstein knew that he was going to be taken out.
right,
I feel like his consorting with whoever was going to do it helped make it a little less painful than it would have been.
right. So this sex trafficking ring really, it's hard to. It's deep.
Mhm.
It's very, very deep as far where how it operates and where it's going. Is it still operating through Trump?
Oh, yes. And it's around the world. It's striated through many countries.
But is Trump operating it to this
Partially, yes,
date?
he is. Partially.
Okay.
And he has his family, his daughter's husband. There are a
Yeah.
number of them,
Jared.
including the Saudis, you see.
Mm,
There's a great deal of it. It's a very insidious stream running through humanity. And it's when people are wealthy enough, they feel like they don't have to justify their actions.
right. They have immunity. They'll never get caught. Um, does Ivanka know?
Yes.
She knows about this.
Oh, yes.
We had also in our previous show discussed Ivanka being a sexual abuse survivor
Very much so.
at the hands of Donald. Do you think that's still true?
Yes. And the reason, well, we're not seeing that he's doing that anymore.
No,
Was that your question?
no, but that when she was young, that's what he was
Do
doing.
you understand this? And you can look around at some of the more beautiful people who are parallel to her in this society, and they have a beauty and a kind of a tranced look,
Uh huh.
and that's
Yeah,
the sexual. That's the sexual
the
abuse right
eyes.
there. Yeah.
And who really has that is Christy Nomi,
Yes.
the
And
ice.
she behaves in a craziness.
Yeah, she does.
So it's this sexual abuse is just, especially when they get money for it. It's well, what could we call it? It's evil, but it's also very destructive.
Right.
We would like to go back to Virginia's soul history since she passed.
Mm-hmm.
She already had some of that in her core, but as she passed through, it's been very, very, very trying for her to undo, and they get a great deal of help with that in heaven,
Mm-hmm.
but to undo these patterns deep within the soul's journey
Mm-hmm.
of that abuse. That's why many people who have been abused come back and are abused again and again. You
Yeah.
understand? Different
Yep.
lives. But the
And
thing about her, and we're admiring her She's working to learn how to extricate herself from those entrenched patterns
Hmm.
deep in the soul. But
Hmm.
also, she has a great deal of desire to help other women so that they themselves get released from the soul's journey out, you see?
Right.
So she's
Uh,
going to do big work from where she is.
Excellent. Excellent. Would this be an appropriate time to see if she would talk to us again?
Moment. Yes, it would. Some of you will feel ill as we bring her through. Um, and the reason for that is how deeply the emotional impact has hit her vibrational self and is very empathic with some of you who also have some of these imprints. The bad thing about that is the difficulty in feeling. The good thing about that is once you can feel, and she knows this now, once you can feel where it's nested and hidden, you can take great strides in releasing it from your soul's journey. You are an etheric being. Here she comes right now.
Mm.
She, I am relieved to speak with you. I feel like a school teacher somehow right now to say it's a very, very, very emotionally cluttering response that I've had to go through. Now, you have specific questions, and I want to answer those for you. But I have deep, deep emotion about this discussion because of the levels and layers of emotion my psyche, my soul's journey has had to endure, go
Mhm.
through, and hopefully cleanse before too long. I don't know what long is from here. You know, there's no real time.
Yeah. Virginia, thank you so much for speaking with us again. We spoke with you just over a month ago, and it was a very intense session, getting to know each other. And
It is a big relief for me to find ways of communicating on these levels. You understand?
absolutely. And we're willing to do the harder work. We're not afraid. So, um, Virginia, do you mind us asking some questions about your
Not at
journey?
all.
Okay. Um, one of the things that just popped in, and it's a very strange question because not only did you die at the hands of suicide, but Epstein died probably through murder. I know the process of being in the ethereal world can take time as we revisit our life and go through all of our things. Uh, have you come across him?
No. And I'll tell you, I don't want to
Hmm.
because and Veronica said she doesn't want this kind of information to stick to her psyche.
Hmm.
And we're saying, that's quite true, is you have to be very, very separated from, I mean, you have to almost pick them off your vibrational self
Wow.
because there's an insidious stickiness in it, which is
Right.
why it's been prevalent for so long.
So, one of the amazing things that's happening right now, there are a number of women coming forward again, who spoke before but just went off the radar. You were one of the more prominent women and forceful, but there is some good news that there's new women coming forward with new information. And one of the questions I had was this because Jeffrey had cameras in every room of his houses, was this a blackmail operation to some degree?
You mean his passing?
No, he is using his hard drives and CDs of all the sex activities that went on.
Yes, it was very much so.
So he accumulated a certain amount of wealth through the blackmail.
Oh, tremendous wealth, tremendous wealth.
Hmm. Oh. Um,
You know that I have released myself and I'm in what's called heaven. But even speaking of that and the tremendous wealth, I feel crushed and ill.
mhm.
Those feelings, your feelings and my feelings, don't just go away. They need to be spat out,
Hmm. Hmm.
or any kind of metaphor you can use to get rid of because of consciousness, not because of somebody told you to. It's about getting conscious, about not having to live in suffering for the next 5 lifetimes and so on. You understand
Right.
that?
Yes.
He needs a great deal of help, and I don't even want to look at him.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't even want to look at him, but I can, when I peek, I say that he has kind of a cold fettering going on. How can I put that? It's a cold feeling in himself that he cannot get away from.
Hmm.
And he's free and he's in quotes dead. But I'm here to say there's a little work to be done for me and for many others. And that people, I wanted to say something else, Lori, is people help us a great deal by talking to us, by accepting us, by forgiving us.
Mm.
It's really important. And the thing is, from the distance in these levels of spirit and so on, it's actually faster for people like me to be released from what's been there for lifetimes
Mm. Hmm.
uh, by getting your help, your prayers.
It's
Perhaps
beautiful.
that sounds old-fashioned, but I don't care. It
No.
is because there's depth and long-term effectiveness.
Yeah. It's very powerful.
And
Thank
I'm
you.
very, very lonely at times. And the reason for that, I want you all to understand this, is with all the pain and the sexual predation that I had to go through. She has several children, apparently. My children
Hmm.
have a great deal of that feeling as well. We're passing it on, you see. So this is the
Hmm.
tribe on your planet that is passing on some of the least respectable qualities. So the more those of you who are interested use your spiritual acumen and you pull those feelings up in yourself and release them, and pull the feelings up as you empathize with other beings and release them. It helps everybody move through quantum levels of evolution. You
Hmm.
understand that?
Hmm.
But
Absolutely.
it's not easy
No. No.
for, especially for those of us who have been so cluttered up by on a feeling level.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
all the work you do to help other people helps you too.
Yeah. Um, Virginia, I just wanted to ask, this is more of a practical question, I suppose, but there's a piece to the puzzle that hasn't been solved yet, and that is a woman by the name of Tiffany. And this is not Tiffany, I don't know if it's Tiffany Trump, but apparently uh, there's been a major, I think it was a witness in the past whose name was Tiffany, who had information. Do you know? I mean, I don't know if you ever knew who this was.
It doesn't appear to be Trump's daughter. It appears that it's someone who was in the know and probably a good friend in the circle of Melania.
Mm-hmm.
but she would have been actually before Melania in the sense of when she became involved, you see?
Ah, uh-huh.
And she watched the spiraling growth of this incredible network. She
Hmm.
watched it grow and grow.
Oh, girl.
Very, very pretty, sweet looking woman who's very hard hearted.
Wow. Ah, wow. Mm. Well, thank you. Thank you for that.
Elaine is also very, very hard-hearted in a certain way. She wasn't hard-hearted in a cold way. She was wound up and fascinated
Hmm.
by what was going on.
Hmm.
That's almost scarier when you think about it.
Yeah, I got a feeling that she had a real attraction to that kind of
Pain.
thing,
Hmm.
the power, sex, the
And the
capture.
suffering of young girls.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be curious what happens with Ghislaine right now with the FBI. As I don't know if you know, the FBI is going to go speak to her, and she's trying to appeal her case. And I think she wants to spill the beans as a deal, as a contract.
I want her to spill the beans
Hmm.
because she has several slices of beans, if you will, that are going to be cutting right into the heart of this society.
Wow. I mean, who knew? I think that's what's the most profound thing for me with this. Who knew that Donald Trump's takedown would be possibly through the Epstein files?
Mhm.
Because we haven't even gotten there. We haven't even touched. We're getting closer. People are getting closer. Journalists are getting closer to understanding, and people suspect what we're talking about, which is, in fact, there is a massive international sex trafficking ring that Mr. Trump was and is probably still involved in.
And
So,
was possibly raised in it to a degree.
of course. Yeah. Wow. Amazing.
You
But
know,
it,
apparently not till he was 18 or 20 or something.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Wow. Virginia, is there anything else you'd like to say or anything you need from us this time, at this time?
I want people to understand that I appreciate so much having the care. Some people really care about how I am, and it makes me feel more possible as far as clearing so much out of my own soul and psyche. I just
Mm-hmm,
want to say thank you, thank you. It also helps them to be clear and not to be sabotaged by these wooings that come along.
mm-hmm.
One more thing, I'd like to, if I may, I'd like to suggest that in 10 years, within 10 years, you'll find that this is going to come undone in a very melodramatic way.
Mm,
It sounds impossible given what we're speaking of, but I assure you that it appears that much of it's going to crumble. There's a great deal about society on your planet. I try not to connect to the planet much. A great deal of change coming up because there's a shift in frequencies and it's affecting both the consciousness and the intellect of people. There's
mm,
some very, very progressive ways of that working throughout the world. And it's not going to be it'll be the whole world, but it won't be all people. You understand?
mm-hmm.
But we see, or I see here, a big change possible within 10, maybe 15, but I would say within 10 years. And you'll
Wow.
see that what would we call it? I see it as the disdain and disgust that is an automatic revulsion in many people who might have been caught under the wheels of that bus.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it's the revulsion that will push human nature away from this kind of attraction.
Well, that would be a huge evolutionary step because, as we know, this situation is very epidemic for young girls and women, and it needs to change. Absolutely needs to change. So, Virginia, thank you for speaking with us, and we'd like to do this again, down the road and
Yes, we would
check
like
in.
to talk with you.
Yeah, check in with you, see how you're doing. All right. Thank you.
Thank
Blessings
you.
to you.
Blessings.